R&B and hip hop. As far as the tracks and things, I'm really into the tracks, the production of today. But because I have that older soul, and just have some of those more mature influences, you hear that vocal over the records of today. So it's a nice mesh of old school and new school, with some jazz influence under there for sure.
Yeah, because if you haven't been to a Justin Ruff show, let me tell y'all, Justin can scat his butt off. Can I tell you? Like you were taking me, I was like, that boy scatting. What point was that something that was always a part of your style and what you did, or did that, later on you said, maybe I should throw some scat in there, or is it? I mean, it just comes naturally because of your musical influences.
You know what? It's because I studied vocal jazz in high school, and so. Improvisation was a big part of the lessons and the classes that we did. And then, even, there were songs that we would do with the jazz band, because we had a jazz band that we would sing with, where that's all they wanted you to do, just to step up and just solo. And interpret, some of the musicians and the things that they were doing. So it definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone because, as singers, I think we're so used to melodies and words and just having those things to rely on. But when you don't have that and it's just, you with something off the top of your head, it definitely pushes you and strengthens the vocal cords. It strengthens your ear a little bit as well. So it didn't come easy at all.
Yeah.
A lot of trial and error.
Oh, I can imagine. Cause I mean, just playing around with it, like I would never do it for anybody in person. I mean, not in the shower, not in the car. Like I don't know. I have to go into a really quiet corner, by myself to even attempt. Did you have any reservations with, when you started performing live on a regular basis, like putting that in there? Did you ever wonder, is the crowd I'm about to perform for, are they going to be accepting of this? Are they going to think it's strange? Like, did you ever have any of those types of questions?
Oh, definitely, and especially at my age. Doing that type of stuff. Like, I didn't know how people would respond to it. But my philosophy and the way that I've always treated live shows was just as a learning experience.
Okay.
And especially starting out, I would purposely, push my limits, and it could sound completely bad. It could sound great. I didn't care at the time because it was just an opportunity for me to learn my limits in my voice and what I could do, what I couldn't do, what people responded to, what I liked, what I didn't like. So it was used as kind of a in the moment lesson for me. And I still do that to an extent nowadays. I mean, I'm a lot more confident in who I am as an artist, so I kind of know, my limits. And okay, Justin, let's not try to reach that. Let's stay in this part right here. But starting out, definitely, I used every show as just a learning experience. And I had notes, and I would have people, film it for me, and then I would take it back and just kind of watch it and just use it as a way to become better.
Now, when you say, the moment you said, like, let's not go there, it made me, I know you're probably like, where is this going? Another thing that I
caught
think
me in a bad moment.
Another thing I think you're known for in your live performance, especially, is your falsetto. And, I guess I kind of have to ask, like, that's something else that I know some people would kind of be, really hesitant to kind of showcase, especially so often. Is that influence come from anywhere or anyone in particular? Because I could think of someone that comes to mind when I hear the falsetto, and I'm sure you hear it a lot. and that's Maxwell, of course, because
oh yeah,
I hear we hear his falsetto all the time. I guess I would assume that's comfortable for you, right?
It is. And, at first it wasn't. I did not like, there was a point where I hit puberty kind of late. And so my voice shifted and I stopped singing for a bit. Mm-hmm. And even in high school, I got in because of vocal music, because you had to audition to get into the school. But I still wasn't, really comfortable with where it was. And when I first started attempting to use my falsetto, I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. Until I heard D'Angelo, actually.
Okay.
And this was like, and again, I know he was out in the 90s, but I didn't catch on to D'Angelo until maybe 2005, 2006 in high school. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of the moment where I was like, okay, yeah, let me really try this thing out. And then after that, I heard Maxwell's Urban Hang Suites album.
Yeah.
And those two albums, D'Angelo, Brown Sugar, and Maxwell Urban Hang Suites, like that just kind of opened my eyes to a totally different thing. Because up until that point, the only R&B that I was familiar with, R&B soul music, was some of the old school stuff. Like I said, Earth, Wind and Fire, Shaka Khan, that type of stuff. So being introduced to those albums just really shifted my whole mentality on music.
Nice. Okay, well, let's play some of your music. How about that? And that way, some people that have not yet heard you can kind of understand what we're talking about here. Where do you want to start? Do you think you want to start with Diamonds?
Yeah, let's start with Diamonds. That was one that actually did not make the cut for the Ruff Draft, but it was one that I said shortly after it came out, I said, I really want to get this song out. It's a great record that I really enjoyed writing. My guitar player, Austin Ferris, and I collaborated on that, and then from there we had some other people just kind of build upon the track. So that's Diamonds. Diamonds, Nothing on You.
All right, well, let's check it out. I will be right back after this. Here's Justin Ruff with Diamonds.
That I What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy, Jeff Gibbs, your favorite saxophone player's favorite saxophone player. Just want to let you know you listening to Support the Dope Radio with my homegirl, CB Radio. Keep it locked, y'all.
And that was Diamonds by our very special guest tonight, Justin Ruff. You are tuned in to Support the Dope Radio. I'm your girl, CB, and we are back. So we're going to talk to Justin a little bit more, take some more questions, play some more music, of course, for you guys to check out. Let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned just before we played the song that Diamonds did not make the cut for Ruff Draft. And Ruff Draft was your EP that was released in 2016. Is that right?
2016, yeah.
Cool. So tell me a little bit about how that EP came to be, like the name, of course, the Ruff Draft, and who you work with on the album, all the good stuff.
Yeah, so the Ruff Draft really was a rough draft. It really was, and it was my first project. I had wanted to put out a project for so long, but I just wasn't as confident in what I had to offer vocally and writing-wise. You know, this was the first time that I had dived into some real writing. And I wanted to take my time with it and make sure that before I released a project that I was confident in it. And I really just wanted to test the water. So with this project, you've got a little bit of everything. You've got some groovy records, some slow tempo stuff, some scatting, some straight R&B, some hip hop stuff. It really was me just kind of testing the waters and kind of just doing what I felt and what I wanted to do. And, you know, that's how it came about. You know, the people involved, Sarah Grant was one of the writers on the project. She and I do a lot of the co-writing. And Kevin Wilkie kind of oversaw the whole thing. So I just kept it really in-house, worked with some people that I felt comfortable with musically, that kind of understood my sound and the direction I wanted to go in. And, yeah, from that, you got the Ruff Draft.
Jeff, well, congratulations on that, because that
Thank
was
you.
It made number one on the top 100.
Well, it was in the top 100.
It was in the top 100. Okay, good enough. May not have been number one, but you got in there.
Yeah, not number one yet. No, I always joke about this and say, you know, nobody really knows who I am right now. Oh, Lord.
They know. We're out here.
Right.
So just before we came back from the break, I played a radio drop from Jeff Gibbs, and lately you guys have been gigging together, and I know that probably has to be like a very, very good fit, considering that he is he's jazz, you know, infused with like some hip hop and some R&B. How did that come to pass?
You know, I'm trying to remember. I know that I've always been a fan of Jeff Gibbs, and I was actually nervous to ask him to, you know, do the first time I had asked him to do a set with me. I was like, no, he's like really Hollywood. He probably won't want to be won't want to be bothered. He's like the best saxophone player across the land. But I remember just always, you know, doing shows, open mics, different events, you know, featured on different bills, and he would always. Especially at Refuge, he was always involved in the set. And, I mean, man, his skill is just, it's ridiculous. You know, just his ear and the way that he approaches music, the way that he kind of incorporates the jazz vibe with some of the hip-hop R&B influence as a saxophone player was just always really dope to me. So definitely glad to rock out with him whenever I can. And he just brings a different element to the set. He kind of ties it all together, you know. Yeah. So I'm just a fan. I'm fanned out right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys made it work.